Hello, I'm Mike Valentine, here as your guide in the life game on purpose. In this module, I'm going to share ways to make the most of your team as you take the journey together. It's a great idea in this game to lean into team. You'll learn a lot as you play together, learn together, and win together. Really, there is no losing in a game on purpose. The only way to lose is by not playing. If we stay in the game, either we win or we learn. And long after the game, the learning remains. The relationships that are naturally built while you play on your team on purpose, those could be lasting as well. Sharing this journey creates a really rich background of learning and transforming together. And we do that transformation from the inside out. It can be rich if you'll take advantage of your team. Likely, you've heard some cliches about teams. TEAM. Together, everyone achieves more. One of Michael Jordan's coaches told him, "There's no I in team, Michael." And Michael's response was, "I know, coach, but there's an I in win, and I want to win." So there was a paradox for Michael Jordan. And for me, the life game carries a similar paradox. On one hand, it's totally about you, your life, your game, living true to your own purpose. Like Michael Jordan, in this case, you're first and foremost on your team. You're the franchise player in your game and in your life. But on the other hand, Michael Jordan failed to win championships until he learned how to play as part of his team. My own experience in the life game is similar. I played at high levels on my own, yet when I wanted to play a full 12-week game above that level of mastery, it took the support and contribution of my team. Our team name is the Fear Hunters. You'll want to find a cool name for your team too. I played over 61 12-week games, scoring, reporting, and staying in the game all the way to the finish. That's over 14 years of keeping score for how well I'm living on purpose. During that time, I was sharing with my team, stayed in the game. While this brought fulfillment beyond what I ever could have imagined, playing with my team was the most important factor as I went through the challenging stages of mastering this game. In the beginning, my ego's waves of adrenaline and despair were really the motivation, but that ran out. Then it moved to kind of a sense of devotion. That seemed like real power, a way to be steady in the games, to stick to my devotion. But in the end, I didn't have anything but raw commitment. It's likely you'll see similar stages as you go through your game. And during that time, especially when I was down to nothing but raw commitment, it was my team whose support encouraged and carried me through. Now, I want to share what I learned are the absolute keys to your life game on purpose. They are: number one, scoring; number two, reporting, sharing, and learning with and from your team; number three, staying in the game or getting back when you've gone out. These are worth repeating. The most important thing, the absolute keys to your game, are: number one, scoring; number two, reporting and sharing with your team; and number three, staying in the game or getting back in when you've gone out. There may be lapses in your participation. That's okay. Just forgive yourself and get back in the game. You can start fresh every single day. That's one of the cool things about the game. You get to start fresh again tomorrow and again tomorrow. And one of the ways to do that is by reporting your score the night before. Forgiveness is the shortest track back to purpose. If you'll truly commit yourself now to these three practices: scoring, sharing with your team, and staying in the game, I promise you this: the rest of the game, the scoring systems, the complexities of the app, the learning curve, the rest of the game will teach itself to you. Here's how it works. As you score and learn the rules, this game starts to guide your TEA, an acronym for thought, energy, and action. We call it T on purpose. This happens two ways. First, when you're excelling in the game, your sharing inspires others. It also reinforces your ability to live on purpose. Second, as you struggle and lean in, your shared humanity in the real challenges we all face in life shows us how much we're the same. This unifies us in our likeness. After all, we're all HITS, HITS, humans in training. Now, what makes a game is scoring. What makes a team is communication. When we're able to contribute to others, we start to feel a sense of purpose, connection, and value in life. And when we ask for or allow others to contribute to us, we start to be appreciative to them by receiving that contribution. I think we've all had something we'd like to contribute and nobody would receive it, and it leaves us feeling empty or rejected. And those are some of the keys to a team in this game. What do we want to contribute, and what are we asking for as support? Another key point is that purpose, connection, and value are the natural expressions and the motivation of our essential self. Your team in this game is a great place to practice contributing and receiving these. I hope you'll pull together and create a safe harbor for learning and living on purpose. Here are some ways you can engage with your team. Before the game starts and during the period where you're preparing to play, you'll use a section of the Life Game on Purpose app called Start with Heart. You'll see an icon to email your team in the section under Establishing Your Gift, Purpose, and Vision. That icon will be there while you're writing your key plays and while you're learning about the app. When you press Email My Team, your default email tool opens a new email, which is populated with your teammates' email addresses. The first time you click to email your team, the email will be pre-populated with prompts you can use to engage in the game. I encourage you to contact your team early and often. Engaging with your team will be a rich part of your experience if you take advantage of it. Also, in the Life Game app on Purpose, there's an icon on the main screen that says Here Now. It's a good idea to be here and now. This is the place in the app you'll go often when your game starts. Once you've entered them, you'll see your gift, purpose, and vision there. It takes a little time to go through one of the modules to get them there, but once you do, you'll see it. After you design and enter your key plays, these are the plays that make your game your own. They appear there as well in the Here Now section for your review, repetition, and practice. This page also includes functions you'll use often during the game. Namely, after you enter your daily score, you'll go to Here Now and press Send Score Today to send your score to your team. Pressing Send Score Today from Here Now opens an email in your default email tool and also populates your score for the day along with any notes you've made in your journal. There may be things you want to share with your team from your learning in progress and things you don't. Just delete what you don't want to share from the email. Your notes remain in your journal and they're there for your eyes only. You'll learn more about how to score, use the app, and win your game from an instructional video called How to Play. We'll send that to you via email. You'll also find a module called How to Play from the Start with Heart section of the app. I want you to know there's a learning curve in the Life Game on Purpose. It seems to take a few weeks for most people. Be patient with yourself. If you'll do the 3 absolute keys that I shared above, that is, scoring, sharing with your team, and just stay in the game and the complexities will get clear for you. It'll slow down. You'll start to learn how to play with a lot less effort. So be patient with yourself. In case you're wondering or have questions, there are 4 ways your team was selected. Number 1, you or someone else brought all 4 players and you registered together to play the game as a team. If so, that's your team. That'll be pre-populated into the app for you, and you'll be with the people you asked for and registered with. Number 2, you registered solo, and we coordinated your team from other people who also registered alone or solo. Number 3, you registered alone and later told us about people that you'd like to play with. And maybe we were able to coordinate that on your behalf. In this case, we may have added other players to fill your team if there were less than 3 that you said you wanted on the team. We may have picked some players who registered solo and added them to your team. And then the 4th way is you may have registered alone and later shared people you wanted to play with, and we were unable to coordinate the team you asked for. There are numerous ways this may have happened. For example, the people you asked for being on your team with may not have actually gotten in the game. Or it could have been too late to coordinate before the game started and we needed to deploy the app when you asked for them to be on the same team with you. At this point, I want you to know we did our best to coordinate you with the people you want to play the game with. If it didn't work out this time, I invite you to get in the game and play to win anyway. You may be surprised how well you get to know and appreciate the others on your team, even though you start out as strangers. Living on purpose seems to create a common bond. I mentioned earlier you'll want to give your team a cool name. My team name is the Fear Hunters. The hat. See the hat? Fear Hunters. One of the things that we try to do on the Fear Hunters, or you could say our shared purpose, is to know fear. K-N-O-W. So we help each other to know fear. Because when you know fear, there is no fear. N-O, fear. There have been great names that people have come up with, and I'll share a few of them to help stir your creative thinking. We had a team named the Should Kickers. Their idea was to get out of the should trap and help each other do that. There was a team called the Bet You Can Bradleys. They were a family team that played together, all 4 of them. The Soul Sisters. We recently had a team named the Slugs on Purpose, and their motto was, "Don't be a slug. Get back on purpose." They wanted to move on from the Slugs name, and they did over the course of the game. We had a team called the Butt Reducers, and that comes from one of the tools in the game called the Butt Reduction Worksheet. The Brothers on Purpose, the Shape-Shifting Samurais, and then even a team named the Egos Amigos. So selecting a name is a great way to engage your team and start with something fun and creative. That's in the prompt email that you'll send to your team the first time. You could brainstorm team names in the journal and share your thoughts with your team to get started. It could be a way to learn from each other and see what each person would like to contribute to the team and then receive as support. There is no requirement for you to have the same team name as the other players. You can go to Start with Heart. On the menu of your app, click Engage Your Team and name your team there. Yet, coming up with a team name is a fun and light way to engage with your team and start the connections that'll be a part of this life-changing experience. You need a cool team name. As I mentioned, another great way to engage and get to know the other players is to share your gift, purpose, and vision with them when you've established it. You can also share your key plays once you've got those. Your ideas may help cultivate theirs, and you'll learn from each other's experiences, sharing your work on purpose. Okay, this is a lot of information about team, a lot about the game. This video and the accompanying written instructions are available in your app under the main menu. Keep in mind, You can click Start with Heart and press Engage Your Team to find this information again. It's really valuable to review the information from time to time over the journey of your life game on purpose as you play and learn. There are so many things in this game that are iterative. The learning is cumulative, and it appears to us new and fresh after we've learned a little bit sometimes. So it's worthwhile to review. Remember, what makes a game is scoring, and what makes a team is communicating. If you'll do these two things, and the third one, just stay in the game will teach itself to you. You'll naturally feel the freedom, power, and inspiration of your purpose thrusting you forward in life. You'll feel a focus and a confidence that what matters most is what you're giving your time and energy to. I look forward to hearing the cool name you and your teammates come up with as we share and learn from this life-changing journey together. I encourage you, lean into team as a way of making the most of your game. I'm in the game with you. Let's run that next play.